Testing, testing.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, first, before we get started, can everyone on Zoom hear me? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up, awesome. We've tried to do a little research with this, so hopefully things will go more smoothly. But, if you have any issues, don't hesitate to put something in the chat or raise a hand or something.
Are you recording?
We are recording. Lesson learned from Steve, the note reminder that says record. All right, so good evening, everybody. This is the March meeting of the Delta Club membership meeting. And I just want to say welcome back. It's been a minute or two since we've all met in person. I'm glad that everybody on Zoom, it looks like we've got 22 participants, and I know that some they'll have more than one member there. So we've got a really good turnout, a lot more than we expected, but that's always a good problem to have. So first, if you are on Zoom, it looks like most everybody has done this already, but to help Carolyn out with the attendance, if you could make sure that you add your name and your call sign. And if you have a really long name, then maybe put your call sign up at the first part of it, so that way it's easy to identify you. All right, well, we will start by going with reading the secretary's minutes and the treasurer's report, unless.
I make a motion that we accept the treasurer's report and the minutes.
Yay!
All right, so Pam has made a motion to accept the secretary's minutes and the treasurer's report as published in Spark. We've got a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. All right, well, the motion passes unanimously. And then something I wanted to mention too, if anybody ever has any questions about the minutes of the treasurer's report, don't hesitate to let us know. I've been called out a time or two in the past for having something misspelled or whatnot, and Carolyn's done a phenomenal job. But just, don't hesitate if you have any questions, make sure you let us know. It's fun to keep that part short and sweet, but we do want to answer any questions if you have them. Next up, we've got the 2022 proposed budget. So Jim. We can try to, well, we can, if it helps. We can.
All right. So we haven't had a whole lot of changes to our budget over the past couple of years. It's pretty much stayed the same with cash that we've taken in and what we've had to pay out for various items. The one thing that we have added this year is a $200 amount for anything that's media or Zoom related, and then everything else is pretty much the same as we go through from year to year. The PO box went up a little bit to about $290, and anything else. Oh, and we've taken a little more in, or we predict that we'll take in a little bit more in the state sale proceeds. Other than that, everything else is pretty steady. Does anybody look at the proposed budget in our in Sparks or have any questions about it?
We're pulling it up now. Too,
Oh, okay.
so that way we can see.
Is it possible to move that we accept the budget as presented?
I was asking if we can just move to accept it as it's.
All right, well, does anybody have any questions? We can pull it up and it might take a few minutes to get there, but it is in Sparks. It was published there Any questions here? Any questions on Zoom? No, okay, so all those in favor of,
I make a motion, we accept the budget as it is printed.
all right, so we have a motion. Is there a second? We've got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. All right, it passes. Okay. All right, so announcements. First thing, this has been in Sparks. This has been said on the net the past several nights. We have equipment for sale here tonight. So if you are here in person and you haven't quite made it over to the tables yet, look through. That is from an estate sale. So we don't have all the items here that were listed in Sparks, but we do have quite a few. And if you see anything that you like, we're not going to be adjusting any prices today because it is kind of a preview, I guess, for what's going to be for sale at Free Fest. So if you see anything you like, they are at really great prices anyway. Grab it, come see Jim, and then we will get you paid up. If you are at home on Zoom and you see anything in the list, email Joe, and if it's left over, we can work on getting that to you at a later time. So, it is that time of the year for membership applications to be turned in. We've gotten quite a few today already. If you haven't done that today, we should have some membership forms up here that you can grab, fill out. It's $20 for individuals, $25 for family. And then if you are not here, you can go on to deltaclub.org and there's the membership application on there. You can fill it in, print it off, and then mail it to the address on the form. Let's see. We will see if we can do this. Okay, Joe, do you want to try to do a training update? Can you hear me, Joe? You're muted.
We needed that for a while.
I can hear you.
All right.
Go ahead. What was the question?
Can you, I'm gonna get you to give a training update if you can, but can you talk a little bit?
You want training? Okay. Training, extra class, we had 7 out of 8 get their license. Then technician class, we've got a class of about 20 now, or about 18. We had second class was last night. The test will be on the 28th of March, and it'll end up on April the 4th with the product demonstration. That's all for training right now. The
All right,
next
one moment, Joe.
probably
Let
won't
me-
be until end of June, first part of
Hey,
July
Joe.
for the start.
One moment for just a second, because we can't get the volume here, so I'm gonna relay what you just said to those here, okay?
I didn't understand you if you asked me a question.
Can you wait just one moment? I will, we do not have your volume set up, so everybody here can hear you. So
I still
give
can't
me one
understand
moment
you.
to relay that information. So for what Joe said for the training classes, the extra class, 7 out of the 8 attendees got their license. There's a tech class going on right now with 20 in there. They will take the test on March 28th and the class will end on April 4th. And I will take a moment to say I appreciate your patience. We tried to think ahead for everything, but we didn't quite get it where we can pick up volume from Zoom. So, all right, Joe, what's next? Is that all, Joe?
Did you ask me a question?
Yes. Do you have
What was
anything
the
else to
question?
report?
There's a lot of echo on it. Repeat the question if you would, please.
right, Joe, do you have anything else to report?
I got a contact from the owner of ComServe today, and he's looking for a electronics technician or somebody that is interested in radios and repair, and he will even do training. If somebody is interested, I'll be glad to send them his email information if they're interested.
So email you and you can forward it.
This, the company is ComServe. They're over on Sycamore View near Mullen Station, near the Shelby County Clerk's Office on Mullen Station, near West Tennessee Community College, in between those two locations. And he's looking for a technician that's somebody that's willing to learn, or somebody that's already into electronics that would like a job.
Okay. All right, Joe, anything else?
No, that's it. Other than buy up a lot of the equipment.
Sounds good. All right, so he said buy a lot of the equipment, so that way we don't have to haul it home, please. Okay. VE testing, Daniel?
Do that, you have to go up, Cam. They don't need to see me. They went without a hitch tonight. Nobody failed. Nobody. No, we had 6 VEs show up and we had a good time up there. Nobody came to take an exam, so no problems. Not much else to say. We were asked to also do the testing for Free Fest. Still, I did talk to Joe, we kind of got an idea of the numbers and everything. Looks like we've got enough supplies and everything to do that. Just need to be sure any of these kind of let me know if you can help out during any of the time of Free Fest. I think it's gonna be like 8:30 to 11. So we'll be doing the testing there. And hopefully we'll have some candidates show up for that.
Hopefully. All right, thank you, Daniel. John, give an Aries update for us. All right, no updates for Aries. Does anybody here want to speak about the Free Fest?
Yeah.
Since this is the last club meeting before, right?
Okay, you know, it is August tonight. Tickets are.
August? How about April?
I'm behind times. Anyhow, April 9th, Saturday, the tickets have been printed, but they're not worked yet. They're at another site in preparation for them. Will be picked up hopefully in a couple of days. We're on a list here, so if anybody wants to put their name on it, I will get them to you. Here's a price breakdown, typical, it's been in the past years. You get the discount at $20, you get 30 tickets. I'd say I'd like to get them distributed as fast as we can, since they are about a week behind what we planned.
If anybody on Zoom wanted to get one, can they email you, or do they need to do something different?
I think email me, call me, or cuss me down, I don't know. Just, you know, just chase me down and I will, we'll get them to them sometime. We'll be starting this weekend.
What's your email?
I call WA4NBM Comcast.net. Be the best bet. You know how these are phone calls you don't recognize. Hard to say. And the main prize is the tickets that are, you know, they publish the 8 major prizes. There's an iPad Pro, which they said 64 gig. I got the information, it was 128 gig. It's about, with tax and everything, the bidder paid almost $1,200 for it. 259 analyzer. Some kind of a, I looked it up Benjamin Weeks now, but it was a vertical antenna with a tripod mast. That thing was approaching $1,000 for all the goodies there. TN07 engineering. This typical Predator 2000 watt generator. Bullfrog net, VSU 144 meg, you know, about 65 watt or something. I power a 2 meter rig mobile. Delta Club, well, here you're throwing in another battery that you did a couple years back.
Yes.
And MFJ's, we sent me a power supply, 4230 power supply. And we also have a 40-inch TV set. This major thing, well, a bunch of hourly prizes that we're trying to scrounge up. We got quite a few of them at this point. It's about everything that I can think of offhand. We will, you know, need volunteers typically to put the cardboard and paper on the tables. Friday afternoon before the, Marlon is particular for protecting everything. You can't stick anything on the wall. This is blue painter's tape. You take the paint off, you go to jail. And like I said, we'll be picking up all the food items that Friday morning before we're hauling it to their center there for the kitchen crew. They've adjusted the food prices just a hair this year. Of course, wood does cost more, so it's not gonna be a major shock for 50 cents for me, but for a combo meal. That's about it.
All right, Pam or Mike Sale asked, you can purchase tickets at the door, right?
Oh, yeah, purchase tickets anywhere you want, we'll sell to you. You know, 2 years ago, it was, 3 of us held in my garage at the drawing because we didn't have the thing live. Last year was not anything. 2 years ago, we had the, and I was actually selling tickets on PayPal the morning of it, printing them, Joe and I put them in the bucket in my garage, the big hot ticket barrel. And a lot of, not a lot, but a couple of those folks won the major prizes and had to ship them. So that was a drawback. We sold a lot of extra tickets, which is for the fundraiser. But the spent $200 at FedEx shipping stuff out of town. But everybody that doesn't know about this thing, it's the fundraiser for Lavonder Children's Hospital. Every ticket dollar goes to them. The only way we try to offset the expense of the building rent is selling food. Well, sausage biscuits and that type of morning stuff, coffee, and hot dogs and hamburgers and such at noontime.
Do you happen to know, because I know Dennis has already started reaching out, are they good on volunteers for things like with the concessions, or are they still looking?
Oh, yeah, they're still probably looking for some folks there. They try to break it up in shifts before, so you didn't have to stay too long in there. I don't know, why I worked there one time. So, women get in and help out. There was somebody doing talking before, I think TJ. Or again, he can do that from his house. There's tables still available. Speak quickly because they're pretty thin. Usually we have the spaces in the parking lot. People want to drag trailers full of towers and such like that up there. So, you know, indoors, we put stuff on the floor under your table, but you know, don't bring your car engine in there if you're selling something like that. We'll frown on the grease on the floor.
What about vendors? You got pretty good,
Well, we've had Sean Barnes, which he was there a couple years, 3 years ago. He contacted Art, I believe it was yesterday. And Ham World is not coming this year. We have a couple other vendors. So 3 major ones that I can think of at this point. It won't be all flea market for sure. I think everybody's ready to gotta do something. Not just visit your ham friends and eat.
That's true.
Everything ham related rotates around food, I believe. Some of you don't know, we have a ham breakfast, second, fourth Friday every week, every month at Danvers down on Georgetown Parkway. Officially starts at 8 o'clock. Get here at 7 o'clock. There's probably about 10 people ahead of you. Open at 6:30, so it's just a casual thing, get together, meet some folks and chat and chew whatever treat you want to buy. There's
Lots of tickets for the bar.
Yeah, that's the big thing, it's a fundraiser, and try to support that. Go on, if you want past Barry the Mike, he might give you an A2 of it.
Yeah, there is one.
Yeah, one.
Yeah, the repeater site, Channel 30, you know, the problems they're having and everything, it's not been totally resolved yet. Best I can tell. The went out there, you know, a couple of weeks ago, and they had started, and I actually saw them working. But they're not finished. All the equipment is still out there. Their transport basket, you know, that they take things all the way up, it's still hanging in the air. So, you know, they're not finished, and I don't know when they're going to start back. So we just keep checking on it. And that's about all we can do. We have no say so in any of this stuff. So that was it. Hopefully, ain't too doing reasonably good. But this should fix it once they do it. That's it.
All right, well, thank you, Barry, for the 8-2 update. Is this any better for those listening on Zoom? Is it still an echo? All right. So last month, we had a couple folks kind of ask some questions about if we would ever consider adopting like digital payment for membership applications. So I don't really have an update for you except for to say that we are researching it a lot more. And we haven't quite met yet to discuss it, but it is something we're looking into a lot more. So I'm not going to make a promise to you that we're going to do that, but just to let you know that we're looking into it. Does anybody have any announcements to share with the group? All right, Ham?
I probably don't need this, but Zoom people might want to hear it. I guess one of the last times that we met 2 years ago, I told you that we got kicked out of the Navy base. Well, we're back, but we're not under Navy control. The city of Millington is, the fire department has generously donated a spot for us. And we're in the process of putting the station back together. We are on the air right now. And if we get some good weather the next couple of weeks, we'll have a tower in place. Use some help. This Saturday, we're going to start this Saturday. Hopefully getting the base section in and up. So we can go ahead and put the other, it's only going to be a 29-foot tower, but we're on top of the building. So we're going to be about 40 feet in the air, a little lower. And along with that, we are going to activate for Armed Forces Day. We haven't done that the last couple of years out there, so we are going to activate the naval support activity. Will be on the air for Armed Forces Day. I'd like to extend an invitation to anybody who'd like to come out and help us. It'll run from about 7 a.m. to about 3 in the afternoon. Just come out if you want to do a couple hours, an hour, or whatever. Some of you VHF guys who haven't been on HF, it'd be a good time to get out there and get a little HF time. So we're going to try to have 2 stations, And like I said, I've got the tower up, we'll have a beam up on 20 meters, and it ought to be a pretty good station. Propagation is getting better. I do pretty well. I've got two end-fed dipole, two end-fed wires out there that are doing a real good job on the Mars side. So, and if anybody's interested in Mars, I'd be happy to talk to you about. We're always looking for a few good men to coin a phrase that's been used by other servers, but it's applicable everywhere. Other than that, we're planning the group that's ham radio group that's kind of helping us put this station together. We're going to probably do a field day out there again this year, so gives you another option if you decide that you'd like to go out there. Other than that, that's all I got. Any questions?
You said this Saturday, what time y'all gonna be out there and where?
I'll be out there if it doesn't snow and rain and all that good stuff. I'll be out there at 7:30.
And it's where for people that don't.
5591 Descartes Street. Now, you know where the radar dome is. Well, we're just a few hundred yards south of the radar dome at the Fire Training Center. You can't help it. They got a bunch of burned out rail car and a bunch of wrecked cars out there and everything else. Fire engines sitting out there. You can't right at the south end of the runway. So the city of Millington is all. We got the whole top floor of that building, and so we've got a real nice. It's going to be a real nice when we get through with the construction. Well, no construction, but get the tower up and everything. It'll be really nice. It'll be a place that we can actually have ham radio classes and all that good stuff. It has a lot of potential that we didn't have at the N100 building on the base. So, and we haven't let the base know we're there yet. I've got a little. I'm trying to get over them kicking us off the base. So. But it's something that's happened all across the country, I have found out. A lot of bases have asked the Mars people to move out. And, we're back in business, whether they like it or not. Any other questions? There you go.
All right, thank you, Ham. Do you think it's gonna be a while before you start up Ham 101 again?
If there is interest, I will start it up again.
Okay.
Well, we talked about it up at the upstairs tonight, and I could actually start over. It's been 2 years, I think, since, so I could actually start over, but we need to just kind of put it out, see if we get some interest. If we got interest, yes, I'll be happy to start it up again.
All right, sounds good. So so right now we have not been having Ham 101 because we have obviously not been meeting in person consistently. So for those of you at home on Zoom, or really, I guess the new members, Ham 101 was a time that I guess we would start at what, 5:30? At 5:30 p.m. on the night of our club meetings, it would be a small group upstairs. So I know one topic was how to learn, like teaching you how to get into learning CW. There's other things, I guess, in the past where you could build different items or whatnot. So it kind of gives more of a hands-on. So if you're more of somebody who wants to do more hands-on versus just kind of listening to something with a presentation, then that's what Ham 101 was about. But if you are interested in that, please let him know and he can go from there.
W4GMM at bellsouth.net.
W4GMM at bellsouth.net. If there's nothing else, we're ready for our program. Steve?
Here, Jane. You gonna give him post, right?
Yeah.
You do that.
I cannot hear anyone.
Yeah, I can't either. Can anyone hear anything yet?
Nope.
Can't hear anything.
Nope.
Not yet.
That's a negative, Ghost Rider.
Do they know we can't hear anything?
Yeah, but it's in the chat.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. If, I'm trying to think, there's a 9-volt battery in some of the equipment in the keyer box. Yeah, in the box with the keys, there's a piece of equipment that has a 9-volt battery in it. With the Morse code keys. It has a screen, yeah. They know about it. It's a battery problem on the mic.
Excuse me.
All right, can you guys hear me talking right now?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
And then are you?
Yes.
If you want to mute yours, that way it won't cause me. I'm gonna stop loud enough for this stuff.
I'm muted.
Try,
Okay,
just speak loud.
I'll try. So, looking for a challenge. So I knew about the XCC history. In 1935, Mr. DeSoto came up with an article called How to Count Countries Worked in UDX scoring system. In 1937, it was the first set of the DXC rules were published and officially started the DXC process. When it first began, it was about 75 countries. Currently right now to get on the list is 100. That gets you the basic certificate. So today, the XCC has 240 entities. Entities are not countries. That's a comparison between the DXCC and the Secure Award. Secure Award is based on countries. The XCC is based on entities. And that's a whole different discussion for a different presentation, how that gets put together. Currently, it's about 62 deleted entries. These are entities that no longer count for the overall. So if you have worked them, it counts for your overall total. That's why if you go to Dayton, you go to the DX dinner, when they do the DXC countdown, it's usually a guy who's about 90 years old, still standing with 385, 390 countries. Currently, you need 331 entities to enter the honor roll. And they have about 90 certificates right now. The latest one they added was the FDA. And this is the DXCC listing can you purchase the book for a couple of dollars and help the league, or you just can download it from the website. So the XCC has changed over the years. You used to do these little forms. You still can if you have paper QSLs. And this is the new method doing LOTW. So I'll automate it for you. If you're smart, you go this route because it costs you a little bit less. And usually if you post it, an application, usually takes about 2 to 3 days to post. Compared to this one, has to be mailed in or have to be checked by the XCC checker. Which here in Shelby County, we have 2 folks who can check cards for you. They can even check
Tom and who else?
Tom and it's somebody else from Germantown, your friend.
Yeah.
I forgot his call.
I'll think of it, yeah, but I go to Tom.
Yeah, Tom, down the street from my house. So cost, it's about $5 for, if you go to LOTW, if you're an ARL member, it's about $5.50 for the application cost. And then there's cost for if you want to have a pin, if you want to have a diploma sent to you, it's about $12 per certificate. And there's a cost per card after 200 cards, there's a cost involved. There's a shipping, if you send your cards in, which is some people don't really want to do that like I do. I take care of my cards more like I take care of my family. I think that, and it's the safe deposit box next to my guns, just in case. But if you mail in, please use the FedEx auction. As a FedEx employee, I appreciate every single penny. But yeah, you can mail them. The link will check it for you, mail them back. Well, we heard this in the past couple of years. There's no propagation, right? Well, here's some history about sunspots and the cycles. As you can see, there's always ups and downs. Now, the last one we went through, it's been one of the worst ones of my ham radio history. And I've been a ham for over 35 plus years. I started first time when I was the age of 15. And that was in 1989 when I first got my license. Back home, I'm from Venezuela. got licensed at age 14 and a half. And I first started doing DX. So go ahead and make fun of me. So in 1989, I started. In 1992, my parents had a wonderful idea to ship me to the US for college. I don't know why they did that. But I already had 221 DXCC under my belt with my YV Cole. In 1999, after I graduated from college and started a family life and got a house, put up the stations and started from zero again. And it took me about 2 years, and I reached my second DXCC from the States. Currently, I'm in 227, and hopefully soon I'll be in the honor roll. I just have to, the countries that I have left to work are the ones nobody's there. So if anybody wants to know Korea, let me know. We'll get to that in a second. So here are my stats. And I'll show you guys how easy it is to get into the XCC today, as compared to when I did it the first time or even the second time around. So here's some of my DXCC story. From 1989 to 1992, I lived in Venezuela. As a young kid, I racked up to 110 entities. Now, I started DXing at the peak of cycle 22, which was one of the best soul cycles we had around. And everybody was going everywhere. When I started my journey again, started in 1999 to 2022, and I'm at 227 entities. I'm about 5, 6 shy to enter the honor roll. And what I have left to work is the hard ones. And what I mean the hard ones is either one guy lives there or whoever goes there so they get shot. We'll get to that in a second about a little bit of history about that. So in 1990, DX Magazine used to publish the most wanted list. Maybe some of you guys remember that. So back in the day, this was the #1 country most wanted. Albania. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It took a while, long time to actually work. Actually, the first operation, valid operation for Albania was OH2BH. Martin Lane was able to convince the current president to allow him to transfer from there. That's my card. It's in CW, 20 meters. One of the hard ones back then was Yemen, which still is one of the top 10 most wanted countries. There were only 2 operations from that time to today. The second one did not count. This is the one that counts. Also because it's my card. This guy's right here. Some of us might remember 100 whiskey, I think what's it called? This guy's is the most famous operation of all in the XCC. Anybody knows why I'm saying that?
They were the ones that were fired upon.
They went to Spratly.
Scarborough Reef, yeah.
No, Scarborough Reef, was Spratly. And they're pirates. And they got shot at and killed.
That's one.
And then we have this one that's coming up. Actually, this is the second most wanted country right now. More people have landed on the moon. They've been in this place. There we go. This is Bobet Island, in the middle of the Arctic Ocean. Okay, there we go. I feel like Elvis or something here. So this is Bobet. And actually, there was an operation that was supposed to happen 2 years ago. The guys actually made it to the island, and the ship broke down, and Captain didn't want to take a risk and pay back. The budget for this operation is about $1 million. I actually was invited to go on this second operation, trying to convince my wife to give me about 8 weeks off, plus $10,000 to save my seat on the trip. I was this close. And here's a famous one of all. If anybody knows the story about this gentleman. So Romeo was a famous guy back in my day in the 90s. Romeo was a guy who was everywhere. He was treated like a rock star. He went to Myanmar or Burma today, Afghanistan, even claimed to be in North Korea. Well, Mr. Romeo spent some time convincing everybody, even in Dayton, walked around like a rock star. And a couple of guys figured out the guy was a liar. The guy was a thief. He conned a lot of people with a lot of money. Well, Mr. Romeo just got out of jail. He got busted a few years ago for mail fraud. So let's talk about today. Here are the most wanted countries right now. As you can tell, the most wanted one is the most isolated country in the world. There's only been about 4 operations from North Korea since I've been here. And all the guys who have operated say never again. Bovet's coming up, Cosette's coming up in a couple months. The number 4, there's no way in the world you see me getting on that. That's only rocks in the middle of the China Sea. That whole area is disputed between 3 countries. China has a big claim on it. It is just rocks, and that's it. Prada, same situation. China does not allow anybody to go there. Cure Island, which is a military base. The Fish and Wildlife will not give access to it. Same thing with Johnson, which is an American possession, and Pirwan. I happen to be lucky enough that at age 17, I was the youngest operator on lucky 13, which is Alice Island, which is in the middle of the Caribbean. It's a sandbar in the middle of the Caribbean Sea. But this right here is the 20 most wanted countries right now. So whenever any of these entities get on the air, the bands will be. When Bovet gets on the air in December, don't turn your HF radio off. So here's the operations that are coming up. That's Crozet. That was the last operation for Bovet. He was an astronaut. He passed away. He spent 3 months at Bovet, and he had a hex beam down there. And that's one of the last operations known out of the wonderful country of North Korea. On his own words, he said, never again. Every single time he transmitted, he had somebody next to him watching every single second that he was doing. There was a guy down the street listening to all the conversations being recorded. All right, so let's talk about the first 100. Today, they're not that difficult. You can actually make 100 countries in a weekend. Any contest, pretty much you can make in the weekend. By Monday morning, you have to get to see. Top log are going to be your best friends. You want to have to spend that much money doing QSL cars like I did. And if you're into these 2 modes right here, literally, you start today, by Monday, you'll have 100 countries. I'm just telling you, how to sell 100.
It's quick.
I tell you what, if Bovet comes up at FDA, you know where I can hear it? All right, so you don't need too much to start your first 100. You have a dipole, verticals, 3-band Yagi, cubic quad, right here, hex beam, a small tower, mass, will get you to the first 100. From 100 to 200, here's when things get a little complicated. You got to do some detective work. You definitely have to get better at operating. And you have to maximize the use of the QSL and the LOTW. 200 and up. Here's when the fun starts. Information is going to be the key for you. Means every single DX bulletin is going to be your friend. The internet now is great. The use of DX clusters, reverse speaking network, online schemers will be your best friends. Call NCQ often, even if you think there's no propagation, especially right now where we're going up in the peak of the site. If you guys haven't noticed, 10 meters being wide open right now. There's nobody there. Everybody's down FT8. You guys keep doing FT8 because we're loving how wide the bands are up. And keep working with the DX technique and build your own plan of attack. What you need for drone? You're going to need a little bigger antenna footprint. Height is going to be a key, especially if you want to work some of the areas that were opposite of us. Receive antennas if you want to start working on 160 and 80 meters. And just experiment to see what works for your station. Here's a very simple solution to all of this. It's PPL, patience, persistence, and luck. And help your fellow DXers. Make sure when don't call them before you work at DX. Don't do like that. No. So just call them after you work them. But like any athlete, I run marathons, so I know if I want to run 26.2 miles, I want to train myself through it. Same thing with the XCC. You got to learn from each QSO you do. You have to be patient. You got to remember something. You might be sitting in your house with air conditioning, with a nice beer, nice iced tea. You know, some of these guys are in the middle of the ocean, sitting on a rock with sharks swimming around them. So be patient. Dynamic range radios now is a key to have with you. Filters, and please train your ears so you learn how to listen. Follow the instructions of the DXer as well. Again, listen. Understand propagation. There's so many tools now available that tells you exactly what's open, or tells you an idea of where things are open. Practice your QSO rhythm. Listen, and call secure. Don't assume because you don't hear nobody at the band is not open. And every good plan needs great tools. When I first started the XCC, it was I live in a third world country. Getting a DX bulletin takes about a month. By the time I got a DX bulletin, the expedition was over. Today we have all electronic logs. Please do electronic logs because it automates the whole QSO process. As a QSO manager, telling you it's the best thing you can do. There's plenty of reverse speaking networks, plenty of tools online to tell you propagation. DX Summit is a conglomerate of packet clusters that send information in on real time of people working. And DX Bulletin, there are plenty of DX Bulletins now that they're free. OPDX, which is one of the most common ones, gets published every Sunday, and it's been doing it for 30, 40 years. There's some paid ones out there. ALORL published one every week as well. So to get to this point, you definitely have to train. Just like I said, I run marathons, I train everything. No matter which race I'm going to do, I'm always training for it. Same thing with the XCC. Trying to better up the station is a fun thing to do. It's very addictive, especially if you start chasing band countries like I'm doing now, because what I'm waiting for is very hard to get now. And with that, QRZ DX, any questions?
What mode did you do most of your CW?
Mix, both phone and CW. There's a diploma for the mixed diploma. You need to have only one QSO in one different mode. So you can have all single sideband and one QSO and CW. You have to mix one, or you can just get a single sideband one or CW one, or just want to get a 10-meter one or whatever band you want to get. 5-band DXCC is all bands except work bands. If you work the work bands, then they'll give you a little sticker for that. And then the only rule is that 160 cars have to be certified by a trained DXCC fuel checker. The 160 cars are the most counterfeited cars out there. People will grab a car from Japan from 18 megahertz, put a dot in the middle, and submit them in. So the DXCC checker has to understand that the guy work at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, Memphis time, Japan at 1:60. And believe it or not, the people who cheat at this game. There's a list of people who have been disqualified from the XCC for doing that. I mean, like any sport, there's always somebody who wants to do something or other. Any other questions?
Great job, Steve.
Thank you. Anybody online? Questions? I need my glasses for that.
Thank you, Steve.
All right. Okay, so. I'm pretty much done.
Thank you.
Is this about where it was?
Yeah, somewhere running there.
Okay. Let's see. Still off, I think. Oh, wait.
You think?
Still not on.
Nope, you're not on because it's not, is he plugged in USB?
I'll try a different.
I don't see the blue light. You got your.
Yeah. Plugging it in. Mm-mm. Okay, well, this is. Freezing up. Okay, so something I forgot to do when we first started, I guess it's been a minute. I mean, it has been a while since we've met in person and I just forgot about it, is introductions for everybody here. So certainly don't want to forget that, even if it's a little bit late. So I guess since you've been here before, Ham, will you start us off?
W4 GMM, Ham.
Daniel, AA4HB.
Richard, K4DXL.
Rick, W4NBM. Barry, W5CJ. Steve, reporting down.
Harry, November 4, Golf Juliet.
Barry, 1.
Web, Kilo Charlie 4, Whiskey Echo Bravo. Tom, AC5 MR.
Steve, KK4 BPT. Bobby, KD5 BS.
Well, I have 12 Joseph. I'm Kevin, Kilo Yankee 4 Mike.
John, KN4 LCD.
Joe, KN4 OND. Trent, N4 DTF. Dave, AD4Q.
Jet, AJ4GY.
Will, KO4 TLY. Appropriate brothers, not yet licensed.
Scott?
Scott, KN4 PU.
Carolyn? KX4QF?
Jim, KD4 FUU.
John, Kilo November 4, Bravo Victor Hotel.
And Mary Jane, Kilo Yankee 4, Foxtrot Bravo. So this is not gonna work, I don't think. We tested out getting all this started with the cameras, but we did not test out hooking it and hooking it up and whatever, unhooking and rehooking, and that seems to have done it in. So I don't know.
You're on there.
This is on. Okay. So they can hear me okay.
I hope so. Yeah. Should be.
All right. We do have one more announcement. So John, if you want to fill everybody in.
Sure. Basically, not exactly tied in with Aries, but the National Weather Service is doing its Skywarn training this month. They are again doing it virtually, so it's a series of webinars. They've broken it out by county. If you go to weather.gov/MEG, that's Mike Echo Golf, towards the top, there'll be a Skywarn training schedule. And for Shelby County, it is coming up Monday, March the 14th. But they list it out by county. Since it is virtual, you don't necessarily, if you can't make it that night for one reason or another, you're free to pick one of the other dates. But I would really encourage everybody that can to participate in that training. Never know, here severe weather is possible pretty much year round. So definitely some good training. They do not have the advanced spotter training courses or the radar interpretation. They are looking into those and may release those later on in the fall.
Hey, John.
Yes.
On the Skywarn, I think that is a requirement for Aries, and how often do we need?
It's every 2 years for Aries to recertify. So if it's been over 2 years since you've done your Skywarn training, then please go ahead.
Yeah, we have to register, or since it's Zoom, is there any?
It's Zoom. There's a meeting link, a go-to meeting link. There's no registration. And basically what they'll have you do is you'll go through their presentation. They'll give keywords throughout the presentation. And at the end, there's a form that you fill out online and you list those 6 keywords so that they know that you were there the entire time thing. So, then they'll send you a link to download your certificate of completion. Anybody else?
Right. Is there anything else? Does anybody on Zoom have anything else? All right. Well, in that case, we are done for the night. So, and we are ready to adjourn. Is there any? All right. Second. All right. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, no. All right. And so if you are here in person, if you could make sure you throw away your trash, push in your chairs, and all that, we'd certainly appreciate it. And thanks for coming out. Hopefully we'll have we're making baby steps, I guess, towards this hybrid stuff. But
Don't unplug.